The Norwegian Viva is the world's newest cruise ship. It holds 3,200 passengers, has 20 decks, over 15 dining options, 20 bars, a 3-story go-kart track, and a massive virtual reality arcade, and costs $730 million to build. Today, I will be giving you an ultimate cruise ship tour of the Norwegian Viva from top to bottom. All I ask is that you hit that like button and subscribe if you find this video valuable in any way. Starting on deck 20 and 19, we have the ultimate go-kart experience. This is the Viva Raceway, a unique 3-story go-kart track on a cruise ship. The only other ship that has this kind of experience is the Norwegian Viva sister ship, which debuted last year in 2022, the Norwegian Prima. Here you will race against your opponents and friends and see views unlike any other, because you're on a cruise ship. Whether you are at sea or on land, the operating hours do vary, however, and as far as the pricing, it starts out at $15 a person throughout the day for a single or double rider. However, if you want the ultimate experience for a $20 price tag, you can go ahead as a single rider and have the entire track to yourself, and the go-kart goes as fast as it possibly can, because when you're racing with other people, well, there are some limitations and the go-kart is a little bit slower. Down on deck 18, directly below the Viva Raceway, we do have the Speedway Bar. You can come here and have drinks before you race, or well, actually, you shouldn't do it before you race, maybe after, you get my point. But also down here, we have a giant recreation center. They have tennis if you want to play. They have a bunch of games on one side. They have darts, which will come at a price tag of $20, but it's a really, really nice booth area. And back when I was on the Prima, it was a lot bigger of a price. You also have what's known as the drop. These are slides, and they are on both sides of the ship, whether you are on port or starboard. They also have a lot of other cool things. For $10, you can play 9 holes in mini golf as well. Directly below me in the back or aft of deck 17, we have the ultimate adult-only experience, an exclusive part of the ship known as the Vibe Beach Club, an area you can go to where if you don't want to deal with any little rascals or kids. However, you will have to pay. Starting at $300 per person for the entire cruise, you can enjoy this experience. There's also a deal for $740. You get a cabana and a pass for 2 people for the entire cruise. It has your own bar, it has hot tubs, lounging areas, and you can do so and enjoy your cruise in peace if this is something you're into. As we make our way to the good stuff, the food, the cuisine, we do start off right next to the Vibe Beach Club at the Surfside Grill. Now here is where you go if you want some hot dogs, hamburgers, you know, all of the vacation food. And once you continue even further, we have what's known as the Surfside Cafe. It used to be known as the Garden Cafe. This is the buffet area, and of course through all times throughout the day and the evening, they have anything that you might think about, like your salads, your regular desserts, and of course all of it is completely complimentary throughout the entire cruise. To my right and to my left, we have Palomar, which is a seafood option here on board, and we have Food Republic, which is a little bit of everything. However, it's primarily like Asian food, sushi, dumplings, soups, rice, salads, stuff of that nature. Both are absolutely delicious. However, it is not free of charge. It's not complimentary. You do have to pay a la carte over here at Food Republic, and there is a la carte pricing over here as well. And over at Palomar, it is slightly upscale, but the food here, I can tell you I've been, it is absolutely delicious. We now make our way to one of the most popular areas on board any particular cruise ship, the Lido deck. Now, this area here is a little tight, and I have to be honest with you, it's a little wonky. It's very layered and kind of stacked on top of each other. I will show you each additional layer and what it has to offer. But as you can see, we do have a pool here. We have what's known as the Waves Pool Bar directly to my left. You want some drinks, you want to hang out, there's plenty of lounging areas, as well as a hot tub on both the port and starboard side of the ship. On deck 18 in the Lido area, directly in front of me, we have something known as the Super Selfie. Think of like a drone shot kind of zoomed out. That's essentially what it is. Directly behind me, we have a kids splash zone area. You want the kids to cool off, hang out for a little bit, this is the place to go. On the other side of the ship, there's more lounging areas, as well as the only smoking area on board this entire ship. You can smoke in the casino, which I'll show you later on. However, you have to be playing in the casino, and there is a cigar lounge on board as well. However, it is exclusively for cigar smokers only. On deck 18 in the Lido area, we have something known as the Wave Water Slide. Now, the hours of operation do vary here. However, this is a unique experience. Starting here on deck 19, you will go in this area here is a starting point, and then you will go down like this little loop area on the water slide and land back on deck 17. As we make our way forward a little bit more here on deck 17, the first thing we will notice is a giant and surprisingly detailed version, a replica of the Norwegian Viva. Very cool. We go a little bit more forward. We have an area exclusive to Norwegian Cruise Line's newer Prima class, the Galaxy Pavilion. This is a giant virtual reality arcade, and every ride here, every experience, every essentially video game here will start at a price of $8 per ride, with the exception of a few things. There is something known as the weapon. It's a ride that goes upside down and turns in every direction that you turn into. That costs $15. There's an escape room that's also $15. They also have a Top Golf virtual reality experience that is $40. Moving to the very forward or front part of the ship, we have one of my favorite areas on board the Norwegian Viva, the observation lounge. Now, this is a cool area that kind of circulates the entire front part of the ship with glass, but it's also a very quiet area for the most part. There is a little bar area where you want to get some drinks, coffee. You can do all that over here. You want to read a book. Typically, this is a place to go if you still kind of want to be around people, but just more so in a quiet environment. Down on deck 16, forward of the front part of the ship, we have the relaxation and fitness area, the Madeira Spa and Salon. Now, here there is a gorgeous thermal suite. They have the fitness center, so if you want to get your workout in, you want to go run, lift some weights, this is the place to go. You want to get your nails done, you want to get a haircut, they also have a barber shop, and of course if you want to get your massages, they also have rooms for you available as well. Of course, everything except for the fitness you do have to pay for, of course. The spa staff was nice and gracious enough to allow me to check out the thermal suite, and the price of the thermal suite for the entire cruise to be able to access this area is $339 for the entire cruise. And I would say, looking at it from an aesthetic perspective, not bad. Absolutely gorgeous. There's more rooms, steam rooms, and of course your saunas, all that is down here available for you as well. This area is surprisingly bigger than I had imagined walking in here, because if you go from the spa, all you see is the thermal area. It looks kind of tight, still beautiful, but when you come into this area, the thermal suite, there is just so much lounging area to hang out and get a very beautiful view of the front of the ship. And I would imagine when you're sailing, well, it's unmatched. Here on deck 16 in the back of the ship, we have a treat for you. This is what's known as the Haven Suite. It's essentially what's known as a ship within a ship concept. From my understanding, Norwegian Cruise Line was one of the innovators of this concept. So you have this area that you can pay, well, top dollar amount in the range of anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000 for this experience to have a beautiful suite. You have your own personal waiter. You have pretty much everything under the sun catered to you, hand and foot, and it's just the ultimate experience here on board the Norwegian Viva. By the way, I made a mistake when I said waiter. You get your own personal butler here in the Haven. There is also your own customer service area, as well as a very beautiful lounging area that you basically have to yourself, or at least to the other Haven Suites guests. On deck 15 forward, the only thing you really need to worry about on this deck, aside from staterooms, is the Splash Academy and Entourage. This is the daycare area essentially for the kids and even the teenagers. We now need to make our way down to deck 8. That's where the rest of the good stuff is. On deck 8 here, there is a lot going on. Directly in front of me in the forward part of the ship, the most forward part in fact, we do have the Viva Theater and Nightclub. It turns into a Vegas-style nightclub, and throughout the rest of the time here on board, they have all types of shows here. We do have Beetlejuice as the premier production show. Unfortunately, it is not available during this inaugural sailing, which is a bummer, but I'll come see it another time. Now, as we walk, we do see all the shops. You do have the Pandora shop, and right next to me, we have the beautiful Atrium. It's a very futuristic atrium. However, it can be a little wonky, just like the Lido deck, as there is only like one way in and out to certain areas. You go up one part of the stairs, you can't go to the other one without going to another part of the ship or back down the stairs, but it's still a beautiful area nonetheless. Aside from a lot of lounging areas here on deck 8 near the atrium, we do have more shops. We have a sunglass shop over here. We have jewelry and a purse shop over here. We have a little bit more so like gadgets and tech over here as well. Should you need something like a charger, if you need batteries, if you need anything, adapters, it's all here available for you, and it's extremely convenient to have. Just past all the electronics and gadgets and gizmos, we do have a photo booth area. So if you take some pictures while here on board, well, this is where you come collect and purchase them. Going toward the back or aft on deck 8, we do have the local restaurant. Now, on other Norwegian ships, if you're familiar with those like the Breakaway class, the local was Ocean's, same menu, same options that they had. There's some stuff that have been kind of altered and deleted here and there, but it's more or less the same restaurant. You also have a nice bar over here, somewhat of a sports bar as well. You have TVs over here, all the drinks that you want, plenty of, I want to say like swing seats, But this all does lead up to an area that I'm going to show you here in just a second. But one other thing about this particular area, the local, it is 24 hours. So if you have those drunk nights where you're hanging out over at the Viva Theater when it turns into the nightclub, or you're going to Sid Norman's or any of these places on board, this would be the place to come get a bite to eat at the end of the night when you are, well, a little intoxicated. As we move further back into Deck 8, we have one of my favorite dining options. Well, there's multiple dining options here. This is the Indulge Food Hall. This is new to Norwegian Cruise Line, exclusively on the Prima class right now. Keep in mind, there are 6 of these ships coming up. We have the Prima, we have the Viva, 4 more of these coming, and Indulge Food Hall is obviously one of the most favorite places here on board. It has 7 different dining options, 2 dessert options, totaling at 9 different eateries here in this area, and they have a little bit of a combination of everything that you might want, whether it be salads, soups, just delectables, and the food here is absolutely delicious. It's sort of, I want to say, high-tech, digital. You order everything on a screen, and they bring it over to you, and the actual time for them to order it and then bring it over usually weighs in pretty short, at about 10 to 15 minutes. Right next to the local, we do have a Mexican spot known as Los Lobos. Now, I have not eaten here yet. However, the reviews are raving, and a lot of people said this place is absolutely delicious and one of their favorite spots. Outside here on Deck 8, we have a brand new feature that is a crowd favorite. This is Ocean Boulevard. It's an area that circulates the entire Deck 8 location, and I gotta say, it's absolutely beautiful. I come here all the time. There are multiple infinity pools, bars everywhere, and it kind of seems like every different section of this particular area has its own design, its own ambiance, its own essence, I guess I want to say. I don't want to sound too deep here, but this is without a doubt a very gorgeous area. It's very artistic, very creatively done, and I know a lot of the people that have been out here, myself included, we absolutely love the Ocean Boulevard area on board the Norwegian Viva. As we work our way down to Deck 7, you do have the bottom half of the Viva Theater / nightclub, and over in this area here on the Atrium, we do have Starbucks. I don't personally drink it too often, but I know my girlfriend Lauren does, and many of you out there might like Starbucks. They do have a full menu. However, of course, you do have to pay, but there is a package. I forgot the cost. It's like maybe $100, $200 for the entire cruise. You can get as much Starbucks as you want, but still, the fact that it's here, not a bad deal. They also have the Shore Excursions desk here. They have guest services, your onboard credit area, and the Effie jewelry store. You also have the internet cafe directly next to the Starbucks. As we work our way down, we do have the Gateway. Here at the Gateway, there is more Effie jewelry available if you want to purchase some. They have watches, Seiko watches. I actually wear one myself. My girlfriend gave it to me as a gift. And we have more Citizen watches down here. And then also toward this way, we have the, I want to say nightclub area. It's the Improv, which is the comedy area. They also have events in here. And Sid Norman's a fictional character that they base with Norwegian. Very cool area. They have all the rock concerts and bands that play over there as well. And these are the venues that are also open during the evening hours. I will admit, and this is just a little hint for all of you, these venues are somewhat smaller than similar venues on other NCL sister ships. So I would advise you, if there's an event going on, like a comedy show or something of that nature, you get here early, book early, because it's going to be a tight fit. I know the Improv, I believe, holds about 70 people. Sid Norman's is more or less the same amount as far as the capacity. As we work our way back more toward the aft of the ship, to my left, we do have Le Bistro. It is a French option on board. You do have to pay for it, by the way. However, I went there a couple years ago when I was a dancer for Norwegian Cruise Line. Absolutely delicious. Back down this way, we do have a couple different options. We have the Metropolitan Bar, very popular spot. You have Hazuki, you have Hudson's, all of these are restaurants. You have the Cigar Lounge. Remember, you can only smoke cigars over there. You also have Namasushi and Sashimi. Located on Deck 6 aft, we have the Commodore Room. This is one of the main dining options, which of course it is complimentary, meaning free. There are 3 of those rooms here on board. We also have the Belvedere Bar. I know a lot of people, they want to kind of sneak away, hide away, and disappear for a little while. They come here, even if it is a big area. We also have the steakhouse here on board known as Katney's. Very delicious. However, as far as the price, it can get a little up there and steep depending on what it is that you actually select to eat. Keep in mind that for the drink options and the food options, Norwegian Cruise Line does have a package that you can purchase so that if you want a no-hassle way to just eat and dine and drink your cruise away, you can do so for a one lump sum price. As we get to midship here on Deck 6, we've now entered the casino. I don't know much about the casino, to be honest with all of you, because I believe the house always wins. I do not gamble. However, the casino is relatively large and it is pretty busy during their operating hours. It's not open right now because we are in a port of call and there's a lot of laws and rules rules and all that. As far as the smoking, you cannot smoke in this general area. On this specific ship, the Norwegian Viva, as well as its sister ship, the Prima, there is a separate area that is closed off that you're allowed to smoke in. However, the caveat to that is that you do have to be playing / gambling, otherwise you do risk the potential of getting kicked out. As we make our way even more toward midship, we do come back into the atrium area, and this is the bottom end of the atrium, so you can see all the way up to the top. You can see all the shops located here. We also have the Penrose bar, very popular. Typically, you will see a band playing over here as well. Some of them are good friends of mine from back when we worked on the Norwegian Escape together. It was good catching up with them. But we also have Cruise Next. This is if you want to book your next cruise while on board. They have all types of incentives and discounts and packages that will make it worth your while. They have Beauty by Design. They also have John Hardy. Basically all the shops if you want to get, some cool stuff while you're here on board. So that is the world's newest cruise ship, the Norwegian Viva. If you guys gained anything out of this in terms of value, please let me know in the comment section below. I'd really appreciate it. Of course, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want me to do more of these, because I am on most brand new cruise ships during the inaugural sailing, let me know in the comment section. Or if there's something you think I should fix or change, also let me know. I greatly appreciate the feedback. I appreciate you guys. I love all of you. I'll see you later. Take it easy.